talking to the guys about a few things, and somebody said, what do you really get out of coaching? You've coached here for 45 years. What do you really get out of coaching? Well, I tell you, last night, we had guys come back from Louisiana, Fort Lauderdale, Puerto Rico. If one guy came up to me and hugged my neck, the number has to be closer to 50 that came up to me and hugged my neck and said, I love you, Lem. That's corny. It ain't corny to me. And I love those guys. They've been through a lot. What so many folks don't understand that makes us as coaches and everybody here at Florida State, we wouldn't want it any other way. We're everybody's biggest game. Stetson threw one of their top guys against us when they had a lead in the 4th inning. Got beat the next night, 13-1. Or next game they played, 13-1. We don't want it any other way. It's okay if Louisville looks past us, though. Questions?
When did you first see the tribute that Carroll did? Was it
Last night.
What was the reaction to seeing that?
One of the most emotional moments I've had in a happy tone in my life with my wife. Because she touched on things that were so important to me, but you don't know exactly. I mean, she didn't say anything to me after the first game. She saw me in a Seminole uniform. She didn't come up and say, man, you look good in that Seminole uniform. It'd be a good idea if you get a base hit sometime. But she just always was there. Thank God. Always there.
So y'all were already married before you came here?
Yes, we got married, came down here on our honeymoon.
So it wasn't just your decision, it was a family decision? So it wasn't just your decision, like, to come to Florida State, I mean, it was a family, what do you remember the conversations about coming to Florida State?
I called my wife, I started off calling her honey, then I mixed in a darling, then I went to mama, now it's Mimo. But Mimo has always had a say in my career, but she always knew what I wanted. Carol made me what I turned out to be. She knew I wanted to play baseball for Florida State. To pack up at a young age and leave your family, and she has a huge family. A lot of them were here last night. To come to every game that I played in that she could possibly get here for. Her son, who knows, maybe one day her grandson. That's just the way she is, extremely supportive of her family. And she supported me in what I wanted to do, and that was, I mean, I came down here to try to make the Florida State team. I was not highly recruited. I just wanted a chance to play.
I know you're not especially one for kind of all the attention for your accomplishments all directly on you. I mean, with the big celebration with the record, with the big celebration for 2000, did you kind of enjoy something maybe a little more subdued before today's game?
I guess it would have to be the way the players acted at Clemson. Mimo was there. daughter was there. My son was there. Florida State won. That was a neat experience. What I just experienced, it just happened. I just, with Carol there, we were sitting there and somebody said, why don't you walk one more time around the stadium? And I said, well, call it a victory lap. We won the dadgum ball game. So we walked and acknowledged the greatest fans in college baseball. And I've said this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for our administration and the great fan support that we have.
You've come pretty far from when your dad told you baseball wouldn't amount to anything, huh?
Daddy was raised in the Depression, and he didn't really like it that I would play baseball from literally sun up to sundown, and a little later. And he couldn't understand why. And I guess one of his statements to me was, you'll never amount to anything if all you do is concentrate on baseball. And I've been trying to prove him wrong for about 60 years. Yeah, we lost Dad about 18 years ago. But he got to see us when we'd come up to North Carolina and play a couple of games.
Would you do anything different today, waking up, come to the ballpark than you normally do any other time?
Yeah, last night was so, gosh, it was just unbelievably nice. Everything was so well done, and everybody had a blast. I got home, and I tell you all the truth, I'm one of these guys, when I'm tired, I don't care where I am. If I gotta walk from here to that door to hit my bed, I'll walk from here to that door. But if there's a bed right here and I gotta walk over here to my office to get to a bed, I'm gonna go to bed right there. I was tired. And I poured a big old glass of tea, and I went to the rack. I didn't see 4 of my family members come in. I told Mimo she missed curfew. I was asleep when they got home.
It's pretty special to have Salvatore, the senior, last home game, hit that home run that got y'all started.
Tell you what, Mike Salvatore is, he's a baseball player. When he doesn't try to hit home runs, he hits home runs. Now, I'm not saying he'll be a J.D. Drew, but I'm saying that he has a chance to be a guy that just give him an opportunity and see what happens. Because he's a solid baseball player. He didn't try to hit that ball out. Man, did he smoke it.
How much pressure do you think was on your team today to win?
I sure felt it, Corey. We need wins. We need to build up the resume. And we had a little slip up, you might say, the last week. But to come out and win 3 in a row against a team that just beat VCU, it was a good accomplishment for our guys.
And they've kind of been, when we talk about the record last year, 2,000 wins this year, your last home game, this is a unique group that you've had to coach, and it's been a unique experience for them. Do you address that at all, and how have they handled so many of your accomplishments and the pressure that's on them?
That is such a good question, and one that's very difficult for me. I've tried to tell them that you can't let any of this attraction get to you. Your job is to play Seminole baseball and not anything else. And overall, they've done a good job. They might argue that, but they have been so-called expected to do things. And I'm very proud of the way that they approached this type of atmosphere. I thought they handled it very well. It's not easy.
Coach, when you got your team together before before you guys batted in the fourth inning, what did you say to them at that time?
We were chasing the changeup, and I wanted to be sure that we understood that we've got to be ready for it, not go up there and be surprised. Not that we're going to swing at it, just see it out of his hand earlier and not try to do too much with it.
You've talked a lot from the beginning of the season really about you're going to try not to think about this is the last time I'm doing this is the last time I'm doing this. How much was that on your mind today? I mean, the last time at home filling out lineup card or addressing the crowd, those kind of things.
Bill Smith, one of my dear friends here in Tallahassee, who spoke last night, said, do me a favor. Do just for a 5-minute period what you did in Omaha when Meek came to the plate. And I promised him that I would do it. I can't say that I held to that promise because it didn't last long. You fall behind 2-0 and you know how important the game is. It's hard to look around, man, this has really been fun. I can't do that. I can't operate that way. I sometimes wish that I wasn't so competitive, but I promise you I will never change.
Okay, on that note, can you, I mean, it seems like everybody's going through the formality of this is likely the last home game, but it's not definitely the last home. I mean, there's always a chance. Are you still, is that still something in your mind, or that you're chasing, or?
There ain't no way I'm saying this is the last time. Yogi says it best. That's a big thrill for me too. One day, I sat at the bottom of Yankee Stadium after a Yankee game with him, shot the breeze for about an hour. That was an experience.
When was that?
That would have been 1979. Because Dick managed in 79. 80. It was 80.
Coach, now that the game is over and you did win, when you take a minute to reflect on today, what will you take away from this afternoon?
The surprise of Carol coming down to the dugout. She doesn't do stuff like that. That was a big surprise and very meaningful to me that she would walk down to the dugout. The thing that she did was just finishing, and I had only seen it, as I said, once, and that was last night. I was watching it again. That was extremely meaningful to me. But let's don't forget either that my two granddaughters were there, my daughter was there, my son was there, my two grandsons were there. We got pictures. Meemaw's gonna have a big time displaying those things.
Coach, just one more thing about the rest of the season, about looking forward. What would you like to see your team do from here? to the end of the ACC tournament at least.
Just what we've tried to get across for the last 8, 10 weeks, and that is take nothing for granted. Guys, that ball game got close. The ball game got close tonight. We had an 8-2 ball game, if I'm not mistaken, or 7-2, I mean. And all of a sudden, the bases are loaded. And you got to credit old Chaz for coming in there and shutting it down, because it got interesting. Sadly, JC didn't get to pitch. JC needed to pitch, but what a day in the fact that I've been here many, many years, and when I saw those clouds, I said, boy, we are getting ready to get wet. And then they kept getting bigger and darker and moving. I said, boy, this is going to hit me hard. Nothing. Just a few little drops. And I'm going, we're going to end up having to play 9. And we just knew it was going to be over. JC hadn't pitched. Well, we wanted to get the Velez out. He had thrown about 40. So Kwiatkowski had a little bit of a struggle. Chaz picked us up. JC didn't pitch because it rained it out. And we had already agreed to that before the game, that was the way it would be when we got past that. We were going to play pro rules.
You mentioned last night just how hard it's been to balance milestone wins with this team and also accomplishing the season's goals. Just how do you, with Louisville being arguably the 3 biggest games of the season to potentially get into the NCAA tournament, how do you flip the feel-good story from today and make sure you guys get after it next weekend?
I assure you that Tuesday when we practice, it will not be on my mind what this team has done thus far. It will not be on their mind. They understand what's in front of them. We have an opportunity. Not going to be easy, but we'll be on time. I guess we're done, but I don't think I've ever said this. Man, I sure hope I see y'all again. Thanks.